Welcome back to the Ectoviolence channel. Today we're going to take a look at my horror VHS collection. I've been collecting VHS for about 4 years now. These are not all the tapes I have, but they are most of them. They may not seem to be organized, but I promise you they are. Today we're just going to look at the horror tapes mostly, so let's start over here. Friday the 13th. This is the only Friday the 13th movie I have on VHS, surprisingly. I don't buy a ton of tapes online because I don't like to pay a lot for tapes. Most of these tapes I found in stores. A few here and there I bought online, and I'll tell you which of those are when we get to them. This is of course the later release of the Nightmare on Elm Street, but still love having it in a collection. I did a review on that as well, and I've also reviewed Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Check that out as well. Beautiful tape, huh? While we're at it, let's look at all these other Nightmare on Elm Street tapes. I don't have all of them, but I think 3, 5, and 6 I bought in a set online, all 3 together. I definitely bought 2 online as well, but the first one I found. The Blockbuster Presents version of Halloween on VHS. There's also one of these for Night of the Living Dead. I do already have 2 copies of Night of the Living Dead on VHS, so I don't think I need any more. A sealed copy of Halloween 2. I don't have a ton of sealed tapes, but I do have a few cool ones. I could probably do a separate video on sealed tapes alone, because most of them aren't horror. Although, look at that, what's happening? I'm not that crazy about it though, I never plan to resell those, so I may as well open it so I can watch it. I bought this from an Instagram VHS seller, but I don't remember who now at this point. Halloween 3 is one of my favorites in the Halloween movies. I'll be reviewing those this Halloween season. Halloween H2O. You gotta love the horror sticker. It's iconic. Halloween Resurrection. Yeah, I definitely came across this in a thrift store because there's no way I would have bought it online. I believe I got this from a half-price books. I don't remember how they had it priced though. Beautiful Bride of Chucky. I love that movie. So what? Evil Dead 2. This is a pretty cool copy, not gonna lie. The collector's edition on widescreen. I could just... Even right now, I'm getting lost in this and forgetting to talk to you guys about it. Nice little clamshell box. I only have 2 Hellraiser movies on VHS. Again, you can attribute this to me only buying what I come across thrifting because I'm a cheap bastard, but pretty soon here I'm probably going to start buying more online just because it's a necessity. My favorite Texas Chainsaw sequel. Don't you just love Dennis Hopper? Video treasures, man. Something about their tapes. I got a lot of them. Texas Chainsaw Remake. Scream 2. Here's another interesting sealed one. One of the variant covers for Scream. According to eBay, this goes for about $60 or more. Again, I'm not going to sell it though, but I don't know if there's any Blair Witch fans out there. I do have the regular copy of Blair Witch, but I also have the more interesting double set with Curse of the Blair Witch and the Blair Witch Project. I'm a big fan. Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2. Yes, I'm an insane person. I like this movie. The Faculty. I just did a review on this as well. You should go check that out. These are in the wrong order. I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I Still Know What You Did Last... Well, I should pull this out just because it's interesting in color. I like that. Final Destination. I need to get Final Destination 2 on VHS. One of the thrift stores had Saw 2 on VHS around here, and I didn't buy it immediately. And then later on, I realized that was a pretty rare tape, and I felt disappointed. I was just torn. I was like, man, if it's the regular Saw, I would have bought it. But they were charging like $6 or $7 for it, so probably just should have pulled the trigger. What are you gonna do? Red Dragon, Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal, the Castle Films trilogy. Well, that's what I like to call it anyway. 13 Ghosts, Ghost Ship, and House on Haunted Hill. I actually really like these movies. 13 Ghosts being my favorite, followed by Ghost Ship, and then House on Haunted Hill. The special edition clamshell widescreen presentation of The Exorcist. Gotta have that in your collection. Paid 99 cents for this. The Lost Boys with a horror sticker. While we're talking about The Lost Boys, why don't we talk about a more interesting copy of The Lost Boys I have? This one. Signed by Jameson Newlander, Alan Frog, Corey Feldman, Billy Worth. That's Billy Worth right there. G. Tom Mack, who did the theme song. Jason Patrick. Beautiful bastard. Yeah, I did a convention with my podcast, Strange Glow Video, and we did the panels, so I got to interview a lot of them. Drank beers with Jason Patrick. It was a crazy time. I still don't believe that it happened. Very close into my heart, next to Lost Boys, is Fright Night. And this copy I did buy online. Look at how beautiful it is, though. Look at all those random stickers on it. Look at that tapeware. You ever seen something so beautiful in your life? This is sort of where we get to the vampire tape section, if you couldn't tell. I also just reviewed From Dusk Till Dawn. You should check that out. This very tape. Alright, so this is the butt end of the vampire tapes here. Once Bitten. It's the Movie Time Collection version, but, you know. Queen of the Damned, Interview with a Vampire, Salem's Lot. I love that cover. It's beautiful, isn't it? I love this, too. Horror. Pam Grier in Scream, Blackula Scream. Paid $5 for this, worth every penny. It's a beautiful fucking tape. Look at this thing. Go watch this movie if you haven't seen it. Who can forget the satanic rites of Dracula? But of course, this printing just calls it The Rites of Dracula. Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. Christopher Lee again in Horror of Dracula. These Hammer films are fucking beautiful, man. Flatliners, not exactly horror. Pet Sematary 2, not my favorite, but, you know, when you come across it for $1, you're not going to not buy Pet Sematary 2. Edward Furlong's in it. People Under the Stairs, that is a sick movie. Again, stoked when I found it out in the wild. Wishmaster, which I didn't see I only saw for the first time a few years ago, but I really like that movie. The Blob, okay? I love The Blob. This is another just beautiful tape to look at, too. Look at this thing. I have 2 different copies of Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I love Elvira, and I love this movie, so anytime I see a copy, I'm going to pick that up. Then we have the Stephen King section here. Everything from It, Misery, Christine, Firestarter, and The Shining. Again, just the ones I've come across, but bumped right up next to the Alfred Hitchcock section. And I came across Vertigo, The Birds, and Rear Window all at once, and they all kind of match up. They're beautiful. And what horror VHS collection is complete without Psycho? Of course, you have to have some Universal monsters in your collection, right? I'm a big Universal Monsters fan, so... Of course, Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, the Mummy, which is from a different VHS series, I guess. Or at least the art's different. It's the same as this Bride of Frankenstein series, though. And that's a sealed copy of Bride of Frankenstein. Of course, Jaws. How many versions of Jaws do you need? I need at least 3 different versions. The standard. Beautiful. Classic. Not to be messed with. The sealed copy widescreen edition. The Universal seal on there still. The double set anniversary collection. And of course, Jaws 2. My favorite sequel, Jaws 3. And Jaws the Revenge. Darkness Falls, not my favorite, although I do love a good copy with the previewed sticker. I hate that they put the sticker right over that. Why did they do that? The price. These are fun gems, huh? Please remember to rewind. I have 2 different copies of The Ring. This previewed copy. Blockbuster. They sold this in May of 2003. And then this translucent cover, which is pretty sick. Joyride, Jeepers Creepers, Sleepy Hollow, Event Horizon, man. I love this movie. I can watch it every night before bed. Think of all the good blood orgies you're missing out on. The Good Son, Hollow Man, that's a fucked up movie. Voodoo Academy. This is one of those weird ones you come across when you're shifting through tapes at a flea market, and you're like, alright, I'm taking that home. Much like this one, Raiders of the Living Dead. I mean, I'm in. The Blob, Carnival of Souls, House of Wax, The Vampire Bat, The Dead Don't Die, The Corpse Vanishes, Devil in the Flesh, randomly between a bunch of old classics, Night of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead. Beautiful, isn't it? The First Resident Evil, An American Werewolf in London. Let's take a look at that one, because that's beautiful too. Another video treasures. Who doesn't like The Craft? I think it's gained more popularity recently, and I'm all for that. It deserves it. And then we sort of just end with the mostly horror, and it's just, there's, you know, Rocky Horror Picture Shows over here, but so Scary Movie 2, Nothing But Trouble. Like, just some random stuff. Down here, there's some Goosebumps, Scooby-Doo, Power Rangers. Tell me what your favorite VHS in my horror tape collection is. And while you're at it, check out this video, and please be kind, subscribe. Thanks for watching.